Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Sideways Look, the podcast where we look where others don't. I am your host, Dr. Paul. So sit back, relax, and let's get things rolling. In our first episode, we dove into a question that sparked some heated but much needed debate. Should all immigrants be deported? We peeled back the assumptions, confronted real data on crime, and discussed the human cost, especially for families tied to a current deportation practices. Today, we're taking it a step further because here's the real question: who truly benefits from deportation? And at what cost? Let's dive in. Welcome back to Sideways Look, looking where others don't. Let's be real. In America, when a policy sticks around, someone is benefiting from it. And the mass deportation system is no exception. According to the Department of Homeland Security's 2024 report, the US spends over 25 billion a year on immigration enforcement, including ICE operations, detention centers, and border patrol. Private prison companies like Core Civic and the Geo Group operates many of these facilities. These corporations have made billions of government contracts, not necessarily to house violent criminals, but often people who simply overstayed a visa or crossed a border in desperation. In fact, the Geo Group spent $690,000 on federal lobbying in just the first half of 2024, a sharp increase over the previous year. Why? Because lawmakers are considering budget cuts for programs like quote unquote alternatives to detention, options that don't profit private prisons. This isn't a new problem. It predates any one administration. The only difference now, it's louder, bolder, and full out in the open. So when someone says deportation is about safety, we've got to ask, at what cost? And for whose benefit? According to Pew Research, undocumented immigrants make up over 25% of US farm workers, around 15% of the construction workforce, a significant portion of the restaurant, hotel, and domestic labor sectors. These are the people picking up your strawberries, laying your tile, and caring for your aging parents. Take the Baltimore Bridge collapse from March 2024, a tragedy that claimed 6 lives. All were Central American road workers. Senator Chris Van Hollen called it a solemn reminder of the contributions and sacrifices that our immigrant community makes in our state and in our country. Even Republican Representative Rick Metzger expressed a desire for a quicker path to citizenship for these workers. And let's not forget hurricanes like Helene and Milton left billions in damages across Florida and North Carolina. Wildfires in California torched entire neighborhoods. 28 climate disasters in 2023 cost over 1 billion each. In every case, immigrant labor, documented or not, played a crucial role in recovery. Yet, these same workers are often exploited. Why? Because the threat of deportation keeps them silent. No complaints about wages, no whistleblowing, no unions to protect them. And economically, deportation hurts all of us. The American Immigration Council estimates that mass deportation could cause the US GDP to drop by 1.2% to 7.4%, depending on the scale. That means higher cost, labor shortages, and increased inflation. Let's switch gears. What about voluntary deportation, or what some call self deportation? This idea got national attention back in 2012 when Mitt Romney proposed it during his presidential campaign. Recently, it's resurfaced, with the federal government even offering $1,000 incentives and flights home for those who chose to leave voluntarily. Only 64 people took a government funded flight as part of the self deportation pilot. Deporting someone traditionally costs $17,121, according to DHS, Department of Homeland Security. But the $1,000 offered, it's not nearly enough to help people rebuild a life in countries where safety and resources may be far worse than here. And while the government hints that self deportees might be allowed to return someday, it could take 10 years or more. Folks, with no guarantee. What can we do? One, legalization and pathways to citizenship, corporate sponsorship models. We can revive the DREAM Act, A recent Gallup poll found only 19% of Americans support mass deportation. 65% believe undocumented immigrants should be allowed to earn legal status. Legal status builds trust with law enforcement, strengthens communities, increases tax revenue, and grows our GDP. If you made it this far, then you already know these issues run deep. That's why Sideways Look exists, to ask uncomfortable questions and bring light to what's hidden, because we cannot fix what we do not face. So let's be honest. We owe so much to immigrants who live and work among us. Let's show empathy. Let's show gratitude. Let's say thank you. I'm Dr. Paul, and this has been Sideways Look, looking where others don't. If today's episode challenged you, moved you, or even opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment, rate the show, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. The more we look sideways, the more we see. Until next time, keep looking sideways.